contestants this season are truly impressive. The fish they catch keep getting bigger. Check out this pike, it's longer than my leg. Once processed, smoking and storing the fish is ideal. Traps are also used to catch rabbits, but they aren't very fatty. But once cooked, the meat is delicious and never gets old. You can also grind grass seeds into flour. This way, you can enjoy fresh bread in the morning. But be careful, too much food can attract animals. If your neighbor is a bear, how do you think you should get along? The challenge has reached day 23. Only 5 contestants remain. The camera shifts to Tucker, who suddenly feels severe chest pain. This is not good news. He starts considering withdrawing from the challenge. He mainly came here for his kids. If his body fails, no prize money will make his family happy. His heart condition worries him. Now he's very anxious, taking deep breaths to calm down. Seeing birds overhead, he thinks it might be time to quit. He immediately calls the show's producers. They didn't expect another withdrawal so soon. This might be the fastest season to end. Tucker feels confident in his survival skills, but his body is failing him. Otherwise, he might have made it to the end. Sadly, there's no what if. Tucker must leave the challenge. He wonders how the other contestants are doing, hoping they can last longer. Now, only 4 contestants remain. Let's check on Craig. Although he hunted a moose, he's not feeling well. Another moose appears nearby. Craig is torn about whether to hunt it, worried his body can't handle the effort. As he hesitates, the moose runs away. He decides to finish eating the meat he has first, grateful for nature's bounty that has kept him going. A cup of coffee would hit the spot. Time to get back to work and focus on the challenge. He plans to improve his shelter, making his bed more comfortable so he can sleep better at night. Lying on it, he feels much better. He also needs to gather more firewood. Although he has enough food, his body is getting more and more tired. Even handling a few pieces of wood injured his nails. Luckily, he had gloves to cushion the impact, or the injury would have been worse. He quickly treats the wound. If the wound gets infected, it won't be a simple matter. He tried placing some mountain leaves on the wound. This should help block some bacteria. I need to stay focused, otherwise it's easy to make things worse. Waiting a bit might improve the effect. He felt his body was definitely sick. This never happened before. I need to adjust my plan, allocate more time for rest, and try to stay relaxed. I believe if I keep this up, my condition won't worsen. But Craig didn't know that. The wreckage drew in a bear. They'll cross paths soon enough. Now, let's check on William. He collected food while walking, making use of everything he found. Even a bottle could be used as a urinal. No more waking up cold at night. Time to check the fish net. Catching more big fish would be awesome. But there was nothing in the net. William thought his setup was fine, but wondered where all the fish went. Winter was approaching, and he had so little food. He feared he might end up fainting from hunger and being carried home. No choice. He had to eat the last fish and figure out how to stock up on food tomorrow. Watching the crows circling above, William worried they might steal his food. On the way back, he set up rabbit traps, hoping for some surprises. He set up about 7 or 8 traps. Surely one would catch a rabbit. William didn't even waste the leftover broth. The fat was so delicious, but it was gone too soon. On the 24th day of the challenge, the camera turned to Pace. He seemed in good spirits, though it was freezing and raining outside. He hurried to check the fish net. Luckily, the rain wasn't too heavy, so he could still check the traps. From a distance, he saw a fish had drowned. Thanking nature for its gift, he could enjoy a hearty meal and not worry about food for at least 3 days. The fish was enormous. He struck it with a stick. Catching 10 of these would be more thrilling than hunting a moose. He quickly cleaned the fish. He wondered if anyone else had caught such a big one. If possible, he would smoke it for storage. Life was getting better, though he feared attracting a black bear. Pace believes that being cautious will keep animals away from his food. The smoking process is exceeding his expectations. Even if I don't catch a moose, the fish should last until the end. For now, I just need to sit by the fire and keep it going. It'll take until morning to finish smoking. I need to watch it all night and stay hydrated. The silence around here is a bit eerie. Suddenly, I think I see something. Turns out it's a moose. If I could hunt it, we all know how that would end. Pace swiftly considers ways to boost his chances of a successful hunt. Spotting the moose moving into the forest, he grabs his bow, follows, and circles around, making a noise. Hoping to make the moose stop, but it doesn't work well. As it gets darker, he's not confident he can make the hunt. He retreats to the shelter, hoping to see the moose again tomorrow. If he had seen it 10 minutes earlier, he would have been confident in the hunt. But there's no time to process and pack it. Attracting bears would be worse. He's too excited to sleep tonight. Hoping for daylight to hunt the moose. Not sure how good Pace's archery is. It's the 25th day of the challenge. Craig has been harassed by wolves all night, too afraid to sleep, fearing they might suddenly attack his shelter. He doesn't know how long he has to wait, hoping for daylight to check if the wolves are still close by. Seizing the quiet moment, he attempts to sleep. Upon waking, he takes a walk and discovers fresh tracks nearby. Craig estimates there are about 7 wolves. Not sure what they caught last night, he hurries to the hunting spot to check. If he happens to find a lone wolf, he wouldn't mind having some wolf meat tonight. For safety, he takes a detour. Lately, it's been eerily quiet, as if something's brewing. Fresh black bear tracks have shown up. That's not good news. He needs to be extra careful. His bow might not be enough to hit a vital spot. Following the tracks, he suspects the bear ate the leftover bones. He doesn't know how the other contestants are doing. But surely someone has hunted a moose. Both sides can probably last a long time to win this challenge. He needs to manage his stamina well. He's prepared for a long haul, estimating at least 100 days. The bones here were indeed taken away. Craig instantly became tense and walked a bit further, finding the remains of a leg. At least some food remains, which is a relief. The bear's whereabouts are unknown, and Craig fears it could be lurking in the woods. Anything can happen now. Despite this, Craig still wants to explore further. Suddenly, something rustled in the bushes. Not wanting to risk it, Craig retreated to the shelter. Dry branches are actually useful. They can retain scent for a while. Craig plans to mark them. He hopes this will keep the bear away. It's crucial not to show fear, as it might excite the bear instead. The scent is perfect. If the bear shows up, it'll know not to mess with him. Craig is sure this will keep the bear at bay. He looks incredibly confident, even advising others to pee higher to scare off the bears. Everyone knows bears gorge on food before hibernation. Craig is ready for a showdown with the bear. On day 26 of the challenge, Pace woke up and started looking for Talou. The surroundings were eerily quiet. He had no idea where Talou went. He tried calling out to attract it, not wanting to miss the chance to hunt a moose if he could catch one. Catching a moose would secure the prize money, but he didn't want to rely solely on that. Fishing was his sure bet to stay in the game. Just as he returned to the shelter to rest, a grouse flew out nearby. He quickly grabbed his bow and followed it. It was perched on a nearby tree. He took aim with his bow and easily took down the grouse. Pace immediately went to retrieve it. The shot was excellent. Everyone wondered whether to cook or roast it. He felt confident about his chances of winning. Meanwhile, Sarah had just finished her shelter and was making soup from leftover grouse bones. The fats were excellent. After eating, she needed more food. Her body needed lots of energy to recover. Just starving wouldn't do. She had to see what edible resources were outside. She felt the resources here were decent and was confident she could gather enough food. She planned to collect grass seeds and grind them into flour. No one had tried this before, and she was curious about the result. Sarah pulled the grass seeds from the stalks and ground them with stones. If this could be turned into food, she decides to focus on this task, thinking daily bread wouldn't be bad. Yet, she misses her husband and wonders how he's doing. She wonders how her husband is doing and hopes to see him soon after winning. The grinding is nearly finished. She adds a bit of water and kneads it. Let's see how it tastes after baking. She has no idea how many contestants are left. She thinks at least half of them are still in. Her advantage isn't very clear, so she needs to work harder. The pie is almost done baking. She takes a careful bite. While the taste is okay, the texture is terrible. No matter how much she chews, she can't swallow it. The coarse flour must be removed, or it won't go down, no matter the taste. William has just upgraded his shelter. Watching the migrating birds, he feels envious and really wants to leave. He dreams of going home to a nice stew. To keep going, he needs to find more food. He sets up 2 hooks as bait, hoping to catch a fish. If you ever find yourself in the wild, make sure to keep a positive mindset. It's best to find fishing tools. As long as luck isn't too bad, you should be able to catch enough fish to eat. William thinks this spot isn't as good as when he first got here. He can only revisit the same places. This place feels like a natural harbor. Fishing requires a lot of patience. If he wins the prize, he'll have more time to spend with his family. So, he must catch something. After many attempts, William finally sees a big fish. He keeps casting his line into the water. After several tries, he finally catches it. Though it's not as big as he imagined, at least he won't go hungry tonight. He's in a great mood. He almost wants to eat it raw. He quickly cleans the fish. This one should last him another 2 days. He stores it in a bag, confident it won't get stolen. It's day 27 of the challenge. He's craving Chinese food badly. It's so much better than burgers and fries. Just thinking about it makes his mouth water. If he wins the prize, he'll definitely visit China first. Where should Sarah start her trip? He dreams of eating from morning till night. Sarah hasn't caught any fish yet. He doesn't want to waste time on that. I can only set more traps and hope. There are plenty of beaver tracks around. Catching just one would be fantastic. Sarah doesn't really want to hunt with a bow and arrow. If she misses, she has to retrieve the arrow from the water. She tries to make the trap sturdier. One grouse can last her several days, and a beaver would make staying another month easy. She continues to set traps by the river. She's not very good at hunting. She used to be a fast food eater. After meeting her husband, she fell in love with wilderness survival. His guidance, especially in setting traps, now enables her to tackle the solo wilderness challenge. She learned for a long time. Now, she can judge animal paths and set traps in the best locations. Everything is set, now it's just a waiting game for the beaver. Meanwhile, Pets has cleaned the grouse. Now he needs to cook it. He didn't add any seasoning, but having meat to eat is already quite good. While waiting, he retrieves his sword. Although it doesn't seem far, he doesn't want to scare the fish. He uses a rope to retrieve the sword, but the lake's thin ice shows how freezing the water is. Fortunately, his courage pays off. After several tries, he retrieves the sword just in time to enjoy the chicken soup. He wonders where the caribou went. He thought he could drink the soup right away, but then he saw a wolf by the river. This is really thrilling. If he had left a bit later, the wolf pack would have targeted him. Now, there's just one wolf staring at him. Do you think Pets has a chance to hunt it? Another wolf appears in front of him. Pets thinks this place is too dangerous. They are downwind of him. Sooner or later, they will come close to him. The caribou was probably scared away by them. Pets tries to howl to scare off the wolves. The result? It didn't work at all. Luckily, the wolf pack didn't stay long. They ran back into the forest. Before he could react, he heard the wolves howling again. Did they catch something to eat? Hopefully, it's not his caribou. He quickly stores the grouse in his stomach. Occasionally having some chicken is nice. On day 28, William enjoys the view from above, but sees no food. He decides to catch some fish to fill his stomach and check the traps. There must be some food, right? But reality is harsh. I found nothing along the way. Just as I was about to head back, I suddenly saw a rabbit lying there. At last, he had meat to eat again. With winter approaching, food is still plentiful. He trusts the traps will bring more. As long as I can keep going, there's definitely a chance to win the prize. I'm grateful for nature's gifts. It's like always admiring nature's resources through a lens. I think I'm on the brink of losing my mind. I just tossed the rabbit straight into the pot to stew. Wei Lian thought it was so fragrant that he put the rabbit leg in his mouth and tasted it, and he didn't know how to describe it. You can't waste that bit of mincemeat on your body, and the most important thing about a rabbit is that its head and tail contain a lot of nutrients. It's crucial for the body. After eating and drinking, save the leftovers. No one anticipated that eagle is so bold, constantly climbing the pole for food. The challenge has reached day 29. The weather is getting colder and colder. Just shaking my legs isn't enough to keep warm. Craig is admiring the scenery. He feels ready to tackle it again. Today's goal is to gather thatch to insulate the shelter, hoping it will be warmer. Many don't get why participants quit due to loneliness. Craig says you need to experience it firsthand to truly understand. Anyone with a less resilient mindset can't cope. You need to embrace the challenge like he does to keep going. He wishes his wife could spend a night in his cabin, which is as comfortable as a hotel, to mark its completion. Craig even threw a party for himself. Although he was the only attendee, he had a great time. Do you think Craig can win the challenge? Let's wait and see.